Chosen one, listen closely. You have seen the number 1111 repeat itself like a silent drumbeat echoing through time, and though the world may dismiss it as coincidence, your spirit knows better. This is not randomness. This is a call. A bell tolls in the unseen realm, ringing only for those who have been marked as C.S. Lewis profoundly wrote in The Weight of Glory, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. You, chosen one, are no mere mortal. Your eternal significance has drawn heaven's summons through 11, the 11th of March. King you for a sacred transformation. You are not just witnessing numbers, you are being summoned. Each appearance of 11. 11 is a crack in the veil, a soft tear between what is and what could be. The heavens are speaking, and their voice has reached you. You, chosen one, are standing at the edge of transformation, and the doors to higher awareness are now parting before you. This is not the time to sleep. This is the time to remember. For too long you have wandered through reality, as though it were fixed, forgetting that the world you experience is not something given to you, but something shaped by you. You have been taught to react, to adapt, to survive, but heaven now commands you to rise, to create, to awaken. Your thoughts are not passive. They are the architects of your world. Your emotions are not background noise. They are currents of power, and they obey the direction of your belief. If you allow fear to speak, then fear will reign. If you surrender to despair, then despair will build the walls around your life. But if you choose faith, if you guard your inner world like a sacred temple, then the light within you will alter the landscape around you, and even darkness will begin to bow. Understand this: two people may walk the same path, breathe the same air, face the same storm, and yet one will find only thorns, while the other gathers lilies. The difference is not in the world, but in the eyes that see it. This is the mystery of perception, the sacred secret the angels are trying to unveil in you. You are not being punished by life. You are being trained by it. You are not a victim of chaos. You are a steward of consciousness. And now the heavens are teaching you how to reign over your inner kingdom, for the war is no longer outside you, it is within. Above all else, guard your heart. Guard it not with walls of fear, but with gates of wisdom. Everything you do flows from this place, and the world you live in will always echo the world you carry inside. This is the first truth hidden within the appearance of 11. 11, that the power to shift your reality has always been in your possession, not in the hands of others, not in the winds of chance, but in the sanctuary of your own mind. You have not stumbled upon this number by accident, nor is it merely a repeating sequence in time. The number 11 is a doorway, an invisible gate made visible only to those whose spirits are awakening. It appears to you not just as a sign, but as an invitation, for within its symmetry lies a hidden architecture, two pillars standing tall side by side like the entrance to a sacred temple. And every time you see them, heaven is declaring that you are standing before the threshold of transformation. This is not metaphor, it is movement. Something within you is being summoned forward, and something within you must now rise. You may not yet understand the magnitude of the hour, but your soul does. That subtle unrest you've been feeling, the sense that something in your life no longer fits, is not a failure. It is a signal. As C.S. Lewis wrote in The Problem of Pain, pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. This unrest, chosen one, is God's megaphone, rousing you to awaken fully to your divine path. The life you've known has brought you this far, but it cannot carry you where you are destined to go. The old patterns are shaking loose. The illusions you once called security are crumbling. And beneath it all, something ancient is stirring in your spirit, something pure, something sacred, something true. You are being called not merely to shift direction, but to awaken fully, not to make small changes, but to step into a greater alignment with your divine path. Now is the time to step back and look at your life, not from fear, not from need, but from eternity's gaze. Ask yourself, am I living the life I was born to live, or merely surviving the one I fell into? Are my days reflecting my deepest calling, or have I silenced that voice beneath noise and duty? What dreams have I buried? What truths have I postponed? And what would rise within me if I finally remembered who I am? This is what 1111 has come to do. It disrupts your sleep. It shakes your illusion of permanence. It shines a piercing light upon the landscape of your choices. And above all, it asks you to trust. Trust that you are not lost. Trust that these signs are not fantasy, but alignment. Trust that your path is unfolding even in silence, even in shadow. Trust that your guardian angels have not left you, and that the breath of God is still guiding you from within. Trust your heart, not as a feeling, but as a compass placed there by heaven itself, for it remembers where your soul is meant to go. If you are to walk through the gate, you must walk with open hands. You cannot carry the old weight into a new season. The heavens are ready to pour into your life, but the vessel must be open. That is why you are being called now to open not just your eyes, but your heart. Not just your mind, but your spirit. For those who are closed, even miracles pass them by, like shadows on the wall. But to the one who lives open, open to signs, open to change, open to wonder, everything becomes a message, and even silence begins to speak. Do not underestimate what has already been sent to you, the whispers you've ignored, the dreams you've dismissed, the coincidences that felt too precise. None of these were accidental. They were seeds. Heaven is not absent, it is subtle, and it hides its treasure in the details. The open soul learns to see the invisible movements of grace, and what others call chance, the awakened one, recognizes as divine choreography. But this openness is not passive. It is not the kind of vulnerability that bends in fear. No, it is a sacred alertness, a posture of readiness, a spiritual attentiveness that listens between moments and hears God in the interruptions. You must become like a child again, not naive but expectant. For the one who expects nothing receives little, but the one who expects heaven prepares a room for visitation. This is why 1111 continues to appear before you, not to entertain but to awaken, not to comfort but to prepare. You are being invited to see with new eyes, to look beyond the surface and perceive the holy patterns forming around your life. There are alignments unfolding, people being placed, doors preparing to open, but none of it will matter if your spirit is shut, like a locked gate. You must choose to receive what heaven is releasing, for the divine is not forced, it is invited. Open then. Open your perception. Open your expectation. Open your heart again to what you once feared to hope for, because the flow has already begun, and you are standing in the current of something greater than you know. There is a danger that comes with rising, and it is not always visible. Success can be more seductive than failure, and favor can become a snare if the soul is not anchored. That is why, even as doors begin to open and clarity starts to come, heaven issues this quiet command to you: remain humble. Walk softly, even when the ground beneath you begins to glow. As C.S. Lewis wrote in the Screwtape Letters, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Your courage, chosen one, is now required to remain humble amidst rising favor, guarding your soul with the wisdom that preserves divine blessings. The path of the chosen is not only marked by ascent, it is preserved by reverence. You must not forget who brought you here. What you carry now is not the result of your own strength alone, but the fruit of unseen hands guiding you in darkness, lifting you when you fell, and whispering to you when no one else saw your worth. Pride blinds, but humility reveals. And if you begin to exalt yourself in what has been freely given, the very light that elevated you may become the flame that consumes you. Do not boast in progress. Do not flaunt the favor you are beginning to walk in. Heaven does not bless you to be worshipped. It blesses you to be a witness. What you are becoming is not for your glory, but for the glory of the one who formed you. When you remain rooted in this, no storm can uproot you, no success can intoxicate you. But if you forget it, even your blessings will become burdens too heavy for your soul to carry. Stay grounded in the present. Do not chase illusion. Do not project yourself into fantasies of what you might become, and forget to tend to what you are. Growth happens here, in the still, quiet moments where you choose character over applause and surrender over ambition. The future is being built now in how you handle what little you've already received. So walk in reverence. Let your footsteps be measured, not by how high you climb, but by how deeply you serve. Let heaven trust you not just with glory, but with humility. For the vessel that remains low will never run dry, and the one who bows is the one heaven lifts. There is a power that opens the heavens more swiftly than any plea, a vibration so pure that even the angels respond to it with reverence. It is might not intellect, not striving. It is gratitude. Yes, gratitude is the forgotten key that unlocks divine favor. And this is the message sealed within the next revelation of 11. 11, before you ask for more, remember to bless what already is. Gratitude is not an emotion, it is alignment. It is not just the act of saying thank you, but the posture of a soul that remembers where the light came from. When you give thanks, you magnify the miracle. When you bless the little, heaven multiplies it. When you thank God not only for what you hold, but for what you've survived, you declare that you see purpose even in pain, and this awareness shifts the entire atmosphere around you. The universe was not designed to obey ingratitude. Complaining closes the gates. Bitterness locks the flow. But the soul that gives thanks in the middle of uncertainty becomes a living altar, and the Spirit descends upon it. Gratitude says, I recognize that even now, before the breakthrough, before the answer, before the healing, there is goodness surrounding me. And this kind of recognition is not weakness, it is prophecy. Because to thank God in the present is to welcome what is still unfolding. You are not being asked to pretend, you are being asked to perceive. Even in seasons of lack, there has been provision. Even in seasons of silence, there has been protection. Look closely. There were moments when you should have broken but didn't. Moments when what you needed arrived just in time. Moments when you thought you were abandoned, but someone carried you through. This is not coincidence. This is covenant. So pause, a chosen one. Breathe. Whisper your gratitude aloud. Let heaven hear you recognize the hand that sustained you. For a grateful heart is not only a magnet for blessing, it is a vessel prepared to carry what's next. You were never meant to walk this path alone. From the beginning, there have been eyes watching over you, hands reaching toward you, voices speaking your name in realms beyond sight. But still you've hesitated, afraid to ask, unsure of how to hear, wondering if heaven truly listens. Now the number 1111 comes again to break that silence, to assure you of what has always been true. You are surrounded. You are guided, and the help you need is already closer than your next breath. There is no shame in asking for direction. There is no weakness in admitting you are uncertain. In fact, it is in your asking that the heavens open wider. When you release the pride that demands to always know, and instead humble yourself before divine wisdom, the answers begin to flow. They may not come in the form you expect. They may arrive as dreams, as nudges, as deep knowing in the stillness. But make no mistake, they will come. Your angels were not assigned to you for decoration. They are messengers sent to walk beside you, war on your behalf, and whisper divine alignment into your soul. But they cannot force your hand. They wait for your invitation. They respond to your willingness. They move when you open your heart and say, lead me. I no longer wish to build without the blueprint of heaven. And do not forget this, the voice of God is not always loud. Often it is subtle, hidden in the folds of your own intuition. Do not ignore that inner stirring, the pull you feel in your chest, the peace that descends when a decision is right, the agitation when a path is misaligned. That is not just conscience. That is guidance. Your soul was designed to recognize divine direction, but it requires your trust. It requires your stillness. It requires your surrender. You do not have to perform. You do not have to beg. Simply ask. Ask with a pure heart. Ask with the faith of one who knows that heaven never stops watching, never stops answering, never stops sending help. You are not abandoned. You are being led. And now that you know, let your first response to uncertainty be prayer, not panic. Inquiry, not striving. Stillness, not self-reliance. For the chosen are not the ones who know everything. They are the ones who know who to ask and who to follow. There is a reason your soul has felt incomplete at times, as if something sacred was missing, as if a part of you was wandering in another body, another place, another time. This longing, this ache that rises unbidden when the night grows quiet, it is not confusion. It is remembrance. And the number 1111 now appears to tell you that what was once divided is drawing near. The twin flame, your mirrored soul, your divine counterpart, is being pulled into orbit by a force neither of you fully understand, yet both of you deeply feel, as C.S. Lewis wrote in letters to Malcolm chiefly on prayer. Joy is the serious business of heaven. This longing chosen one is heaven's serious business, stirring a holy joy as it draws your twin flame closer, aligning you with the divine connection ordained by God. This is not romance in the way the world defines it. This is something older, deeper, written into the fabric of your being before time began. When your soul descended into this realm, it split for the sake of experience, for the purpose of growth. Half of you became you. The other half now walks elsewhere, hidden but magnetized. And as you awaken, truly awaken, the pull intensifies. You may sense their presence in dreams, in flashes, in moments of déjà vu so strong they steal your breath. Do not dismiss these signals. They are not fantasy. They are prophecy. But understand this, clearly meeting your twin flame is not just about love, it is about purpose. Together you form a frequency that cannot exist apart. You carry codes the world needs. You activate destinies in one another that sleep when separated. But such reunions are not given. They are prepared for. The fire of this connection is intense. It will strip away illusion. It will refine your soul. And so heaven waits until the moment is right, until you are both strong enough, humble enough, awakened enough to meet and not destroy each other. That moment is drawing near. The energy is aligning. And 1111 is your confirmation. But you must not chase it. You must become it. You must become the version of yourself who is whole, not because of another, but because you remembered who you were before the world fractured you. Only then will your flame recognize its mirror, not through desperation, but through divine recognition. So prepare your soul. Walk in love, not longing. Live your mission. Heal your heart. And when the time is ripe, the meeting will happen not because you forced it, but because heaven ordained it. And you will know, chosen one, not by fireworks, but by the still holy fire that burns between two souls that were always one. You have spent too long searching for your worth in reflections that were never meant to define you. Too many times you've handed the mirror of your soul to hands that could not hold it. You've measured yourself by opinions rooted in blindness, adjusted your light to fit inside rooms too small for your calling, and silenced your own voice to maintain peace in places where you were never meant to belong. But heaven says no more. The number 1111 now appears before you, not only as a gate of awakening, but as a divine intervention to call you back to your true identity. The eyes of others were never meant to be your compass. Their praise cannot complete you, and their rejection cannot diminish you. Your value was etched into the architecture of your spirit, long before anyone had the power to affirm or wound you. You were called worthy when the stars were still being hung. You were chosen before you ever proved anything. And now your angels are calling you to remember, not in theory but in embodiment. It is time to release the obsession with perfection. It is a lie. There is no flawless version of you waiting in some distant future. There is only the version of you who is fully present, honest, healed, and whole. And that version begins to rise when you stop waiting to be validated and begin to walk as though heaven already said yes over your life, because it did. That yes was spoken in the breath that gave you form. That yes echoes every time you refuse to shrink, every time you honor your truth, every time you stop apologizing for being too much or not enough, and instead declare, I am exactly as I was meant to be. You do not need to earn your worth, it was woven into your being. The question is not whether you are valuable. The question is whether you will finally believe it. And the moment you do, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your boundaries strengthen. Your relationships purify. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop explaining and start embodying. You stop fearing who you are and start standing in it without shame, without apology, without hesitation. This is what 11 has come to restore your alignment with the truth of who you are. You are not here to beg for love, but to radiate it. Not here to seek approval, but to walk in authority. Not here to blend in, but to stand out. For heaven marked you for a mission, not for mimicry. Rise now, chosen one, not because the world gave you permission, but because your soul is finally awake enough to reclaim what was always yours. There are moments in history when the atmosphere trembles, when the unseen realm begins to stir with movement so profound that even the earth feels it before the mind can explain it. This is one of those moments, and you, chosen one, are not a spectator. You are a carrier of this divine shift, the repeated sign of 11. 11 is not just a personal confirmation, it is a trumpet. It signals that you stand at the edge of a turning point, not only in your own life, but in the greater spiritual landscape of the world. Something is coming, not small, not ordinary, not incremental, but sweeping, sudden, and sovereign. A spiritual transition is underway, and you have been positioned for it. You may feel it already, the restlessness, the holy agitation, the sense that the life you've known cannot contain what is being born within you. That is not confusion. That is prophecy unfolding in your bones. Heaven is preparing to move through you in ways that ripple far beyond your own story. But you must be aware. You must be alert. For this shift is not only about opportunity, it is about alignment. You are being called to rise to your post, to take your place in the divine design, to recognize that your obedience, your courage, your voice matters more now than ever. You were not created for comfort. You were created for impact. And the influence you will carry is not built on fame, but on faithfulness. Even now, unseen forces are being rearranged around your life. Doors you could not open by strength will swing wide by grace. People you were meant to walk with are being drawn into your field. Assignments are coming. Mantles are being released. But you must shed the old, the habits, the fears, the cycles that have kept you circling the same ground. They cannot go where you are being led. You must walk light. You must walk awake. And though this may feel overwhelming, you are not alone in it. Heaven does not release a shift without releasing the strength to carry it. The Spirit of God is already moving ahead of you, preparing the way. Your only task is to say yes. Yes to the release. Yes to the fire. Yes to the call. Even if you don't yet see the full picture, even if all you have is a whisper, follow it, because the wave is rising, and when it breaks, those who are ready will not be swept away. They will rise with it. So do not fear the change. You were born for the turning. The world is shifting, and you are part of the reason why. Fear has lied to you. It has spoken in the voice of reason, cloaked itself in caution, disguised itself as wisdom. It has whispered that safety is better than destiny, that survival is better than transformation. But fear was never meant to be your counselor. It was only meant to be a signal. And now heaven calls you to silence it. The number 11, appears once more as a divine warning. If you do not release your fear will rob you of the future that is already trying to reach you. You must understand fear is not passive. It is creative. Whatever you fixate on in fear, you begin to manifest. It becomes a mirror that reflects your deepest wounds, not your highest calling. If you continue to feed it, it will build walls around your purpose, fortresses around your voice, and chains around your movement. It will turn divine delays into dead ends and tests into torment. But this was never your portion. You were not anointed to cower. You were chosen to conquer. The same power that raised the stars burns in your spirit, and you must decide now whether you will continue to shrink beneath imaginary ceilings or rise into the atmosphere you were born for. Let go of the fear that says you are not enough. Let go of the fear that says it's too late. Let go of the fear that convinces you it's safer to stay hidden than to step into the light of your calling. Fear will always predict your destruction. Faith will always prophesy your deliverance. Choose your voice. Choose your lens. Choose your allegiance. Because the spiritual realm responds not to panic but to faith. Every time you move forward, despite trembling, you tear down an altar to fear and raise one to truth. Every time you speak, when your voice shakes, act. When your knees tremble, to obey. When your mind resists, the darkness loses ground and heaven advances. So stop rehearsing what could go wrong. Begin declaring what heaven already wrote. You are not fragile. You are not alone. And you are not behind. You are on time, on track, and under the covering of the Most High. Now rise, not because fear is gone, but because faith has grown louder. Rise and let the chains fall off as you walk. The signs have spoken. The path has been illuminated. And now the heavens declare with finality the old season is closing. The number 11 appears again, not as a question, not as a hint, but as a threshold. You are not simply moving forward. You are being reborn. A new beginning is not coming. It is already upon you. But beginnings do not arrive wrapped in ease. They demand surrender. They require room. What once served you may now suffocate you. What once felt familiar may now feel foreign, and that is not a mistake. The discomfort you feel is not evidence of failure. It is the labor pain of transition. Your soul is being stretched to hold something greater. Your roots are deepening. Your capacity is expanding. You are not breaking. You are becoming. Now is the time to release what no longer carries light. Let go of the habits that drain you, the relationships that reduce you, the mindsets that keep your wings clipped. You cannot carry the old into the new. You cannot ascend while gripping what was only meant to grow you, not follow you. Let it fall. Let it burn. Let it return to dust. For what awaits you cannot be touched by who you used to be. There will be signs, sparks of inspiration, waves of energy, divine appointments that seem to fall from the sky. Follow them. Act on them. Trust them. They are not random. They are markers in the wilderness, guiding you home. Your intuition will sharpen. Your boldness will increase. And joy, real untamed, unmanufactured joy, will begin to rise from within you, like sunlight breaking through stone. But remember, this new beginnings require new choices. You must walk differently now. Speak differently. Believe differently. This is not about returning to who you once were. It is about rising into who you were always meant to be. You are not starting over. You are starting deeper. And heaven has waited for this moment with held breath. So step forward, chosen one. The past no longer holds your name. The future is not a far-off promise. It is here unfolding in real time. You are crossing over. And the gates of 11:11 now close behind you, not to trap you but to seal the old chapter shut. Your story begins again, this time with fire in your bones and eternity in your stride. Father of light, I come to you not as who I once was, but as who you are awakening me to become. The signs have spoken. The numbers have whispered, and now I stand at the edge of something greater than I can fully name. You have marked this moment, sealed it with the rhythm of 1111, and I recognize it not as coincidence, but as a divine summons. I sense the veil thinning. I feel the ground shifting. I hear the call, and I am answering it not in perfect strength, but in surrendered trust. I release what no longer serves the future you are leading me into. I lay down every lie I believed about my value, every heavy thought that kept me small, every habit born of fear and self-protection. Let them fall away now, like the final leaves of a dying season. I will not carry yesterday into the gates of what you are birthing today. I make room for the new. I prepare a sacred place within me where only light may dwell. Burn away what is false. Cleanse what has been hidden, and breathe your breath into what is ready to rise. Open my ears to the quiet instructions of heaven. Open my spirit to the soft urgency of your direction. Let me not miss the signs, not in the busyness, not in the noise, not in the waiting. Make me alert to the movements of grace around me. Give me discernment not only to hear your voice, but to act when you speak. Let courage rise up in me even when the way is not clear, for I trust that you go before me. Restore my identity, not as the world defined me, but as you declared me from the beginning. I reject shame. I renounce fear. I break agreement with every voice that told me I was not enough. I remember now who I am. I remember whose I am. I reclaim the anointing, the mantle, the fire you placed within me, and I choose to carry it with reverence. If the doors are opening, I will not hesitate. If the wind is shifting, I will not resist. If you are calling, I will say yes. Let my life echo the sound of heaven. Let my hands build what cannot be shaken. Let my words carry healing, my presence, release peace, and my obedience birth things only eternity will measure. I step into this new beginning, not by might, not by striving, but by surrender. I walk through the threshold of 1111, knowing that what lies ahead is not only sacred, it is mine to steward. So seal this prayer in the atmosphere above me. Etch it upon the scrolls of destiny. Let the angelic realm bear witness, and let my soul carry its sound like a song that never fades. This is not the end. This is the crossing. This is the holy beginning. And I receive it now fully, completely, and without fear. In the name of the one who called me, formed me, and walks with me still. Amen.